the notice that was sent to us said there will be a discussion on the review by the parking meter of the parking meter contract by the Ministry of Legal Affairs and Finance. And this afternoon, we're being asked only to speak to the amendments, which was only circulated to me about an hour ago. The amendments number 16 pages, and the review from the Finance Ministry and the Legal Affairs Ministry is less than that, and was given to us over 3 weeks ago. And that is wrong. To ask us to come to a decision on a 16-page document that was circulated to us only a little over an hour ago. That is wrong. There is no natural justice there. How can I be allowed to peruse with any decency, with any clarity, with a 16-page document that has just come on the agenda for the special meeting, and the notice and the items that are substantial to the notice of the special meeting we have not touched on as yet? That is an egregious act, Madam Mayor and councillors of the city of Georgetown. And further, I have nothing to say.
Thank you, sir. I don't understand the Deputy Mayor's statement. In my opening remarks, I would have clearly said that you would have been given the review of the Ministry of Finance and Legal Affairs, and all of the recommendations that they were asked for is before us. So you have two documents. If you did not work with both documents, or if you did not study both documents, am I to be blamed? Is there any indecency? Is there any injustice?
Ma'am?
Excuse me, sir. Please, no, I would like to have a nice, decent, orderly meeting. I said quite clearly from the inception that the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Legal Affairs document was circulated some time ago. And as agreed upon, we will call a meeting to have a discussion. What you also have before you is the amendments to all of the recommendations made here. So, sir, we are here to discuss both documents. Can we move forward?
Of our own view on these amendments, we didn't feel that it required enough time, more than we given, for us to consider this amendment.
Mr. Tomlin, I'm not quite comfortable with the statement that you would have made there just now, that the administration felt. It is not the feelings of the administration. So I'm not comfortable with that statement. As you are aware, we will have received these documents yesterday afternoon, and they were circulated. We had to photocopy and circulate it today. But the Ministry of Finance document was before us quite some time. So I don't think that statement will strike quite correct in saying the administration felt. We manage this city by councillors. The administration will implement such decisions, and not by their feelings, but by decisions made by councillors.
I respect that, man, but I was talking about the length of time, the time in which the document is circulated.
Very well, sir.
Here on the before and after related tariff, if my memory serves me right, I believe the National Police charges $5,000. And I'm seeing that we are going to be charging the errant persons $12,000. I don't know why, but that's what the question was. Secondly, under consideration. Now, the contract, as I know, is for 20 years. And And I'm wondering why do we have to consider beyond 20 years? That's the next question. And I'm not certain I might need advice, but I'm not certain how legal it is for a smart city solution in the section of auctioning of abundant vehicles that they can auction off the vehicles. I want to believe that it might cause us or we might end up, well, we, not the council, but I believe they might have some legal implications. Also, exempt vehicles. I heard police, I heard fire, I heard medical and ambulance, I heard government, diplomatic. What I didn't hear is what provisions are made for residents. Also, Madam Mayor, in the item where you speak to violation of resolution, and one is that the city will have one person, smart city solution will have one person, and smart city and the city will have a person unanimously agreed on. I am thinking that we should have a third party which is neutral, which might be a person from the government. Under unilateral termination, I have seen here 15% will be borne by the council, but I've not seen anything as it relates to the cost that the smart city solution will have to borne as it relates to, in the case of smart city solution, unilaterally decide to terminate, have a termination of this country. Those are my contributions.
Section 41, Article 41 of the termination says, termination by mutual consent. The agreement may be terminated at any time by mutual written consent of the city and the concessionaire. So there's mutual understanding with both sides, and the terms are mirrored for both sides in the contract.
Agreement for unanimity. It is somewhat voluminous in terms of several pages, and some of them, it's not mind-boggling, but I would like to make sure that when I make a decision on behalf of the city for the purpose of development, I seem to have a problem with mics. I'll ask you to stand forward a little bit so I can have my say uninterrupted by this noise. Thank you. I have made some notes. One, I see no penalty for violation of what is proposed. No late penalty. On one page it says here, $8,000 for 1 hour parking. What happens if they go beyond? I'm just going to brush through so that I can whet the appetite. If anyone else feels the way I feel, they can bring that. Concession.
For the city being able to garner revenue, I do support us being able to provide better traffic control when it comes to parking meter. However, I have a few things that I came prepared to speak, Madam, on the reviews that were given, and as this has been presented, I must take the opportunity, just a few findings. It is my humble view that $1 has been mentioned as the charge, and that's comparable to Ecuador, Peru, and Colombia, whose GDPs are 6,002, 6,661, 7,831 respectively. Guyana is just about 3,000 or so forth. So that is not a favorable price, first off. Secondly, I believe the 20% that we are being offered, up to 25% for 19 years, as with the amendment, should and could be adjusted higher for the city to gain revenue that is needed. The 35% that they will, the 33 and a third that they will pay in tax, and the 16% in fact does not come to the city, who is providing everything for them to earn money and give us income as well. So, I heard that we negotiated this amendment, humbly asking who renegotiated this amendment. Fair enough, I would have expected, or what would have been a good way, if I may humbly suggest, for us to go would have been having us tell Smart City at the beginning what we expect. And then they come with their amendment and we negotiate from there.
For today's day.
Madam, I'm not against the city getting revenue, but to ask me to vote for an amendment at this time, madam, is certainly not getting the best out of this councillor, who is always prepared to go through, to peruse, to check the nitty-gritty of everything that is written, and to come with counter-arguments or counter-proposals that can only lead to us getting the best out of any contract. So as I stand here, I cannot stand to say I'm against this, but I can stand to say I have certain things and certain input that I would rather to be there. Likewise, the other councillors, I'm certain, and as the report says, if I don't fight these outside battles and against, we've been fighting each other for too long. Here, it's time to work to move forward in something. So, whatever, it took us 5 months to meet here. From April 1st, we came in on All Fool's Day to the end of August for this to come before us. If the amendments, in my humble suggestion, somewhat selectively chose which parts of the review to address. If we could look at certain other parts of that same review, sit along with the people, I believe we could come up with a good contract that would work. The city gets the benefit, we move forward, we're not going to breach a contract where we have to pay and all of that, but I'm certain that they've come with an amendment that they're ready to negotiate. So this is an opening, so madam, I would humbly suggest, for the vote today on the amendments, you're not getting the best that I could offer as a councillor in terms of getting the best deal possible. As much as we can wring out of this monstrosity of an original contract, I would have to ask you humbly that you give us some time so we can come up and then we can decide and act. So when we move forward with one voice and we get to fixing this. That's all.